What's going on? It's Kiba. We're doing something different today. Not your usual skating maps and stuff. Probably still skating maps. But hope everyone's doing good. Shout out to Monkhead. He's one of the lead devs in the Session team. He's been with Session pretty much since the beginning. He recently went in Discord and answered some questions and, you know, some concerns that we all had about the future of the game. So okay, so Matt Circle here just wants to know how the bounce glitch, the upcoming bounce glitch, was fixed, the rare one. It starts with Monk actually responding to Matt Circle, and he breaks down what was causing the bounce glitch and that they had to do a workaround to fix it. Constraints between all board components can't support the mass and the force that's applied to them. Therefore, everything gets crushed down. It tries to readjust itself very quickly, which causes the bounce. So essentially, and for those who don't know, every component on your board in Session has its own physics. So that's what he's talking about. Like each component can't support what's happening. It collides with the collision on the ground. It readjusts itself and then you get the bounce. So he says spreading the mass evenly across to get an even weight ratio could help with that problem, but that would throw off how the board flips and mess everything up. It will mess with the physics. The way it was solved, now there is a downforce applied when a part touches the ground. All right, Baggy Pot responded, sounds complicated honestly, but you know, we're all excited. It is getting fixed. It's been such a long issue. And Monk responds, yes, it is, unfortunately, and even this is sort of a hack because a clean solution would require rewrite of a lot of parts. And Baggy Pop even said that sounds great because the only thing that was keeping him from playing was the bounce glitch. And even like Soapy, the bounce glitch is one of the main reasons he quit playing Session. He had a lot more fun playing Session in the early access. So Monk says the problem with the game physics in general, it's not made for small parts like we have. There are a lot of problems that occur, like ground penetration, etc., that you need to work around. And then Tony says, can you confirm we're only getting these 2 fixes? And yeah, he says this update will have just those 2 fixes, but we're working on more to come with the update after that. I remember how explodey the trucks used to be too, which is another thing that they had to work around as well. And then Megabates says break on nose and tail would be possible still, and it's not planned at this time. And they have other fixes in development that players will be more excited about than nose and tail breaks. Are you sure if the update has anything to do with the 2-year anniversary release? And he said, I don't have an exact date on when this title update will be released. We all appreciate Monk. There's Baggy Pop. Yeah, Scalab looks insane. Shout out to Vato and Band. Did you see their new map? That new map, that shit look crazy. So more on the bounce glitch. He says the bounce will not happen regardless of your gravity setting. Same goes for the ghost pop. Where those 2 gameplay fixes come along with some fixes for Paris DLC. Yes, a lot of bugs got fixed in the Paris map, including doors. Pretty much ticking off all the things that are being discussed in here on the daily. Some of them just take more time. They're pretty much saying that they're working on everything we want, but it just takes a hell of a long time to get it because they have to make a lot of work around. Because a lot of the original devs for this game aren't here anymore. Like Monk is probably 1 of 2 of the original people working on this game. And so people are coming in and they're picking up someone else's work and they're trying to get fix things, but it's hard, you know, because you're going behind someone else. Any hint on where DLC map takes place? Pushing my luck here. So any hint on where map 20 is gonna be? Monkhead says Central Europe. I hope this is the new norm, even if they're not huge fixes. Gameplay development should be the main focus on every single update moving forward. Also, since we need to support 8th gen, optimization on a city map is a huge time sink. Ooh, shit. That's true. That's true. Those last generation consoles are holding us back. That's what I'm gonna chalk it up to. You know what it was? Paris doesn't suck. We just got the PlayStation 4 version. Just to put in perspective, there were 628 meshes modeled for the Paris map. Bro, could we get like 628 meshes for clothes? The mall had 178 meshes. The school had 117 meshes. Dang, that's crazy. So if the bounce fix is some kind of hacky solution and not a rewrite on Chaos Engine, I'm assuming these fixes are coming with the game still being in UE4 and not UE5. Does that mean UE5 is still ongoing but taking way more time than expected, and some fixes had to be done because of the increasing player pushback on only DLCs, or UE5 was again canceled and Creature is afraid to admit it? I'm not commenting on UE5. Wasn't the whole point moving to UE5 to use Chaos? So that kind of confirms it. And Monk Reply says Chaos is causing insane chaos. I will leave it at that. I was worried it would be. Maybe physics import to UE5 then. We can't. Technically you could. Do that cause the official support stopped from Epic side, and any update could become a huge time sink with unforeseen issues. Okay, so because they're using Unreal Engine, Epic supports devs that use their engine. And if they were to switch, the Epic support that they do get with using Unreal 4 would stop when they switch to Unreal 5. I have missed direct communication with devs. Everybody has missed direct communication with the devs, bro. Looks like whether UE5 is on the table or not, they are fixing the skateboarding again, and that's all that matters. So Monk's saying it's not impossible, but insanely impractical and potentially catastrophic. Is there something specifically why Chaos is causing havoc? The physics tick order completely changed. Sub-stepping is working differently. All impulses are now completely different, etc. You would need to rewrite the whole game with Chaos, basically. They have to rebuild the game from the ground up. Session 2. Yeah, I guess we need session 2. Values are the one thing that can be changed, but it's the entire code basis that relied on physics and its calculations. This is a great combo. I feel at ease dating UE5. Yeah, at least we're not waiting. Basically, what it would entail is refactoring more core mechanics, and those have a cascading effect on other things because a lot of things are intertwined and rely on one another. Regardless if we're moving to UE5 or not, I cannot stress enough it is to give all of you the true version 1 experience. That is our highest priority. I love hearing that. Look like we're standing on UE4. Hope y'all can figure out multiplayer. I'm ready to let go of my expectations for Grand UE5, and I can't wait for skateboarding fixes this year and the next year. I'm on board with that. Everyone's ready with like UE5 being dead. We just wanted to know something about UE5 coming. And as long as fixes are coming, that's fine. Man, if they gotta work around this much for the game, they probably have to do so many like types of different workarounds for multiplayer that we probably just don't understand. I have to say, since the communication has gotten a little better here, I've spent less time focusing on complaining here. Kind of accepted the fact that session is what it is. I've slowly started to enjoy playing the game again. If the next couple of updates deliver and the transparency continues, I might even get a couple of the DLCs I never got. I just want information, even if it's not always good news. Yeah, that's what everybody wants. We just want to know what the hell is happening. We're going to stay on our current version of Unreal and just keep patching the game, and that's how we do it, baby. Hopefully we can patch in some multiplayer. As long as we keep getting the game fixed, hiring more people, keep getting animators, like shoot, like it's gonna be harder to work on animations now apparently, but if the Chaos Engine was just causing chaos, then fuck it, bro. Like, we're just gonna have to work with what we got. Get the God, that sounds so bad. But yeah, essentially, yeah, they can update the animations as they go along down the line. Shit, bro, we could get an animation update like every update for all I care, bro. Like, shoot, like one update we updated the push. One update we came out with throwdowns. One update you got, I don't know, a kickflip animation. One update there's a better heel flip animation. Like, what is this bounce glitch? So there are people who actually don't even notice the bounce glitch is happening. Because I'm sure it happens to everybody, whether you notice it or not, it happens. But there are people who like just don't notice that this bounce glitch is happening. Oh man, could we get this fixed? Popping is currently the only way. We used to be able to ride off and land into a manual. Could we get like ride off manuals back? Could we get this back, please? That doesn't change with the ghost pop fix. We will have to look into the manuals at some point. So the force holding you up is not strong enough when you no pop out for some reason. That's why you tap on landing. It's so tragic, bro. He's explaining it like it's just so tragic because it used to work. So he says, nah, man, the dev didn't outright say, yes, I promise this will happen on X date. So that means it's all a big lie. It's not all a big lie. They worked on UE5 and then they were like, oh shit, this completely destroys our game. We will have to rebuild it from the ground up. So we could either do this and leave everybody hanging for possibly years on end, or we could just stick with what we got and improve upon it. So Monk says it means when you have the intention to do something and it causes way more problems than it solves, it becomes insanely impractical for a product that is live. Session 2. I guess it's one of those things you won't know for sure until you have it set up and tried. Yeah, and they tried it and it was a disaster. So to take the time to say thanks for popping in recently, helping the community understand and sort of change the vibe. Nice to see game talk that isn't just people arguing over thoughts. It's good to get confirmation and communication. It's all good, just hard to explain to people that sometimes all resources go into something that may not happen and other things are on back burner during that time. Ideally, we have a separate mechanic for slappies, but we want to make sure everything else is done that we wanted in version 1, even things that were scrapped before we bring in new features. I'm actually really glad to hear that. I know it doesn't confirm anything, but both that slappies might be a thing someday, and more importantly, that the focus is on getting what's there right first and polishing the base experience before adding on top. Fuck yeah, shout out Milkworm, man. Slappies are currently a thing, just a bit jank at the moment. They're as much as a thing as lip tricks before the lip trick mechanic. Sure, you could do them somehow. I used to do lip tricks consistently before we had mechanics. That's how I came up with most of the design for the alpha. To me, learning lip tricks is the same as how we all learned how to play the base game on much earlier builds. It's janky and difficult, but it's there and you can get a feel of where it's going. Yeah, man, Milkworm understands. He gets it. He knows what's up. And then Monk actually responds to that comment from Milkworm. Yeah, there is always going to be a jank with everything. Giving the player full control and not automating things will always result in jank. Yes, and at least they're interacting with the community. That is so fucking important. What y'all niggas want? Man, Freddy, keep it. Yeah, let's sit shit. Ooh. I know, right? Good old MSG. Can't wait. Oh yeah, I missed it. I'm about done recording. Because literally this game like relies just heavily on physics. Like way too many things in this game. And TLDR, they would have to rewrite the game from the ground up to go on Unreal 5.
Well, like, I mean, I'm sure they had those hardships going from, you know, like, older versions of 4 where they started building it, you know, going into like the version we have now, 4.27, you know, that's why they had to rework the physics. And reworking the physics for Chaos is going to be to turn around and be like, oh, well, you know, it's harder than it seems. It's not going to be anytime soon like what you guys think. Or, you know, like, they should not have promoted it or said anything about it until they had a functioning build in Unreal 5 that had everything that they needed, you know, like, they could have been working on Unreal 5 for fucking years and then just said, hey, you know, we're not doing any updates, doing an engine upgrade. Instead, they were like, oh, it's going to Unreal 5, and then whoever's on their fucking social media is like, it's gonna be by the end of this year, which I have screenshotted, by the way. So it's kind of like, why'd you even bring it up? Why'd you even say that shit? Or if you're gonna post something like that, like, yeah, that's cool. Take your time, work on the Unreal 5 build, and, you know, like, because from my understanding on what I read, he said that they're trying to get the game to more of a point where it should have been for version 1 before they...
That's the way I read it, at least. Like, they want to fix the stuff that's already broken. Not only that, they try to get the stuff that's in experimental out of experimental before they add more shit into the game that might potentially end up in experimental anyway.
I mean, you can add stuff to the game all day, but you have to also go back and, you know, kind of make sure it didn't fuck anything else up. Because I don't really care if it happened.
Yeah, I don't think like it was exciting to hear that they were, like, you know, considering it, but yeah, I don't think anyone really cared because first of all, the game already looks really fucking good. This is like the latest version of Unreal Engine 4, so they can keep building upon this version of the engine because it is the best version of Unreal Engine 4, like, hands down. Okay, so the way it breaks down, Frank, is they were doing it, they were trying it, they were working on it, which is why we didn't get any updates at all for the longest time. They were actually working on it. It was causing way more issues and problems than it was fixing, or that they thought it was going to fix. Getting physics to go to Chaos is like damn near like impossible. Like, they would have to rebuild the game in Chaos. Not everything, like obviously not all the assets, but like the core skateboarding would have to completely be rebuilt.
And I mean, if they are gonna do Unreal 5 like later on down the road, they just kind of want to give the UE4 version a little more love and life before they just fully commit to Unreal 5 and rebuilding the physics. I mean, that wouldn't be so bad. I mean, I guess you really never know what's to come in the future. They might dedicate some people to just work on that.
Yeah, you never know. Guys, I'm so excited. Oh my god, Unreal 5 is coming, guys. We're gonna get Unreal 5, actually.
There's things in Unreal 5 that if they do eventually get it working in some way, shape, or form, whether they have to redo the physics, there's animation mirroring, which I know a lot of people are gonna be pissed about the fact that goofy skaters are still gonna look like they're just skating Switch, and, you know, whatever, but I don't find that big of a deal.
Dude, just keep fixing this. Like, shit, maybe whatever, you know what I'm saying? They keep finding workarounds. Maybe they can find a workaround to multiplayer one of these days. I think if they find a workaround to make multiplayer work, everybody shut up for a good minute. It's like a long ass time, y'all shut the fuck up.
It's not far off. I'd shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
For a little while.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they could take the entire game and port it and like take all the animations in the game for the character's body and take all the maps in the game and take all the gear and all that stuff and all that. And they could take all that stuff, but they would still have to completely rebuild the skateboard physics from the ground up.
Well, guys, time to switch to Skate Lab.
So for today's sponsor, Skate Lab. It helps to take care of your OG base employees. The OGs left before the game even left early access, bro. Like like the OGs were gone before they got bought out by Nacon. They were gone. We're not getting Unreal Engine 5 anytime soon, whether it be next year or next 3 years. We won't know unless they say anything, but shout out to Monk for like clarifying this. Like, that's all we ever wanted to know was just communication and information about what's happening with the game. If it seems like we're just going to start getting a lot more fixes now that their focus is off of Unreal Engine 5. So that's a good thing. All right, subscribe if you're new, like the damn video, peace.